What if the person you lost never really left? What if every silence, every shadow, every song was them trying to reach you? Before we begin, if you believe love never dies, hit subscribe right now, because this story might change the way you see loss forever. Ethan never believed in ghosts. Not before the accident, not before the silence, and definitely not before the night the music started playing on its own. It had been 8 months since Lily died. 8 months since the rain-slick highway stole her from him. 8 months since the hospital room, the flatline, the numb handshake from a doctor who wouldn't meet his eyes. 8 months of waking up in a bed that felt too big, too cold, too empty. But the worst part wasn't the silence. It was the memory of her voice. Because Ethan could still hear it. Every morning, he followed the same routine. Coffee. Cold toast. Avoid mirrors. Avoid memories. Avoid the guitar sitting in the corner, the one Lily had begged him to play again. Music is how you feel things, Ethan, she used to say. Now feeling anything was the problem. So he stopped playing, stopped writing, stopped living, until the night the song played. It was 2:17 a.m. Ethan woke up suddenly, heart racing, like someone had called his name. The room was dark, the air heavy, but something felt different. Then he heard it, a melody, soft, familiar, impossible. His eyes snapped toward the corner. The guitar. It was resting exactly where he left it, but the strings were vibrating. Playing. By themselves. Ethan froze. No, he whispered. No, this isn't real. But the melody continued. It was their song. The unfinished one. The one they started writing together the night before she died. His chest tightened as memories flooded back. Lily laughing as she scribbled lyrics on a napkin. Lily humming while staring at the stars. Lily saying, "Promise me you'll finish it, even if I'm not here." He never promised. Because he thought he'd never have to. The music stopped. Just like that. Silence again. But this time, it wasn't empty. It was waiting. The next day, Ethan tried to ignore it. Tried to convince himself it was stress, grief, imagination. But that night, 2:17 a.m., again, the melody returned. Clearer this time. Stronger. And this time, it didn't stop. Ethan stood up slowly, his hands trembling. He walked toward the guitar like it might disappear if he moved too fast. "Lily," he whispered. The air shifted. A faint breeze brushed past him, though the windows were closed. And then, a voice. Not loud, not physical, but there, inside him. "Finish it." Ethan stumbled back, shaking. This wasn't grief anymore. This wasn't memory. This was something else. Something real. Days turned into nights filled with music. The same melody, evolving. Guiding him, pushing him. And slowly, painfully, Ethan began to write again. Lyrics poured out of him like they'd been waiting. Words he didn't remember thinking. Lines that sounded like her. Felt like her. "Even if the world goes silent, I'll be the echo in your soul." He stopped mid-sentence. Those were her words, not his. "Lily, is that you?" He asked the empty room. The lights flickered. Once, twice, then stillness. Ethan's fear slowly turned into something else. Hope. Dangerous, fragile hope. Because if she was still here, then maybe she never really left. One night, everything changed. The music didn't just play. It called him, pulled him out of his apartment, down the street, into the cold midnight air. Barefoot, breath shaking, he followed the melody like a thread through the dark city until he reached the place he had avoided for 8 months. The crash site. The road was empty, silent. But the moment Ethan stepped onto the asphalt, the music stopped. "Why here?" he whispered. The wind picked up, cold, sharp. And then, he saw her. Not clearly, not fully, but enough. A silhouette, standing exactly where the accident happened. Hair moving in the wind. Watching him. Ethan's breath caught in his throat. "Lily." He took a step forward. She didn't move. Another step. Tears streamed down his face. "I hear you," he said, voice breaking. "I feel you." I never stopped. The figure flickered, like a fading signal. "No, don't go," Ethan pleaded. "I'm finishing the song, just like you wanted. Just stay, please." The air trembled, and for a brief, impossible moment, she smiled. Then she was gone. Ethan collapsed to his knees. Not in despair, but in understanding. She wasn't trapped. She wasn't haunting him. She was helping him, guiding him, finishing what they started. The next morning, Ethan picked up his guitar. For the first time in 8 months. He played. Not for himself. Not for the world. But for her. Days later, the song was complete. Every note. Every lyric. Every piece of her, woven into it. He titled it, I Still Feel You. The night he recorded it. 2:17 a.m. came and went. No music. No voice. No presence. Just silence. But this time, it didn't hurt. Because Ethan understood something now. Love doesn't disappear. It transforms. Into memories. Into music. Into the quiet feeling that someone is still with you, even when they're gone. As the final note of the song played through his speakers, Ethan closed his eyes. And for a fleeting second, he felt her hand in his. Warm. Real. Peaceful. Then it was gone. Ethan smiled through tears. Goodbye, Lily. And somewhere, beyond what we understand, something finally let go.